Hello, and welcome to ONCA 101, Membership Models for Ontario Nonprofits. My name is Benjamin Miller. I'm a lawyer who serves nonprofits and charities, and I'm of counsel with B.I.G Charity Law Group. In this video, I'll discuss the rules under Ontario's Not-for-Profit Corporations Act that govern membership, and more broadly, some of the different models for membership nonprofits can choose. And I'll start by saying that figuring out who your members are is probably the single most important governance decision you will make for your nonprofits. Although a lot of people think that the board is in charge of the nonprofit, in reality it's the members who hold the ultimate controlling power of the nonprofit. So figuring out who your members are, how they become members, is vital for laying the foundation for a successful nonprofit. I'll mention right from the get-go that membership is a very complex decision. There are a lot of factors, a lot of variables. It can be very detail specific, and the following presentation is only general legal information. So if you want legal advice or governance advice, I would suggest you speak with a competent legal advisor and/or organizational consultant, because this is not the exclusive domain of lawyers. Okay, so just to start with some definitions, because I find that people, they get confused with the word member, right? Because the word gets thrown around a lot. Member is not whoever donates to your organization. It's not whoever's plays in your little league. It's who is defined as a member in your bylaws. That's who a member is for the purposes of Ontario's Not-for-Profit Corporations Act. That is the person who has legal powers under corporate law. So you can use the word however you like, and in fact, you may not even call them members in your bylaws, but it's the people with the voting rights who elect the board, who appoint the auditor, and who have voting rights over fundamental decisions like mergers and selling off assets and that kind of thing. Now, membership classes are different groups of members. You have lots of flexibility. You don't just have to have one type of members. You can have membership A and membership B. You could have, for example, let's say you have a little league, you could have the players are one type of member, the parents are another type of member. If you have a school, you can have the teachers are one type of member, the students are another type of member. The list goes on, and you can have a great deal of flexibility. There is a minimum, however. You need to have at least one class of members who have voting rights. So sometimes I run into nonprofits who believe they don't have any members, or the board is ultimately in charge and no one can tell them what to do. It's not the case. You have to have at least one member, at least one membership class, where the members have the power to elect the board and replace them. Okay, so choosing the right membership structure for you, this is a very complex question, but for me at least there are two fundamental decisions you need to make. Number one, you have to decide how complex you want your structure to be. Complex structures, having multiple classes, having each one has different rights, they can elect different directors, it can be very good for representing different interests. So if you're an organization that has to balance a lot of interests, you might prefer a more complex structure, but they're difficult to maintain, so that's worth considering. The second thing you want to ask yourself is, how open do you want your structure to be? Do you want it to be controlled by a tight-knit group of people, either yourself or your board, or do you want it to be open to anybody who comes and is interested? Over the next slides, I'll review some closed and open membership structures. So three basic types of closed membership structures is one where only one person is a member, usually the founder. So it's possible you don't need to have more than one member, and they can have all the power. This can be very efficient, but it can also be very negative if that person becomes toxic to the other people involved in the organization, or just overburdened. A little less closed is a self-perpetuating board where all your directors are also members. So they wear two hats, and by naming new directors, they are also naming new members. And finally, a hybrid membership, so your directors are the only voting members, but then other people could be non-voting members, so they play an important advisory role. Among open membership structures, you could basically just say anybody who's interested can come and be a member. That can be great for getting lots of people involved, but then it can be hard to get them out to meetings because they don't realize the duties involved in being a member, and it could leave you open to takeover. You can set conditions like signing on to a code of conduct, paying a fee, getting the approval of the board. That makes it a bit more closed, but still pretty open because anyone who meets the conditions qualifies. And finally, you could have a representative structure of membership. So basically, a group of people has the power to elect somebody who then serves as a member. So that's just a quick overview. If you have any questions or would like to discuss membership structures more, feel free to email me at benjamin.miller@charitylawgroup.ca, or just go to charitylawgroup.ca and shoot us a message. We'd be happy to discuss it. It's lots of fun.